In a dystopian world where the government oppresses its people and war rages endlessly, a woman named Denise sits among others, writing black shoe in her notebook. Everyone around her is wearing black shoes except for her. She hails a taxi and rides with her head leaning out the window. As the car moves, a man in a suit stops the taxi and gets in. Denise notices that he too is wearing black shoes. He extends his hand to the driver, who scans it with a small silver device. Soon after, Denise reaches her destination and steps out of the car. As she begins to walk, the heel of her shoe breaks, forcing her to remove it. A large tornado looms in the distance, so she decides to take shelter in a nearby restaurant.
You cannot come in without shoes.
There's a tornado outside.
Inside, a waiter tells her she cannot enter without wearing shoes. She tries to explain that there's a tornado approaching, but both the waiter and the manager refuse to let her in.
You cannot come in without shoes.
The heel's broken.
Here.
A tornado's coming. There's something weird out there.
You cannot come in without shoes.
Not without shoes.
Denise looks at the rain, amazed at how they are denying it. Later, Denise walks home. Once there, she picks up a sharp object, seemingly ready to harm herself, but a man calls out from behind her. It's Anton. He tells her that he's now the head of customer relations and that he finally has his own desk.
Do you ever wonder why you do what you do?
No. Anton glances at her shoes and remarks that she can't work at the bank dressed like that. Then they notice a man named Wes acting strangely nearby. Anton explains that Wes hasn't been able to function properly since returning from the war. Denise follows Wes's gaze upward and sees the sky. There are 2 moons. She shows Anton, who sees them too.
There.
She rushes back to the bank and tells Patrick that something is happening, that there are 2 moons in the sky. Patrick asks if anyone else saw them, and she tells him Anton did. Patrick follows her outside to look, but he doesn't see what she's describing.
That is a frightening premise to all civilization.
Rocks, clouds, gravity.
Later, Denise returns home. Her roommate, Zania, reminds her that it's time to pay rent. Denise argues that she hardly takes up any space, that she sleeps in a corner, and that she's unemployed. Zania's friend tells her to get her life together. Denise then asks if they felt the rumbling in the ground, thinking it might be connected to the 2 moons. Both women ignore her and leave.
Wait. Bye.
Elsewhere, a man named L.T. Daniel Winthrop and Professor Eduardo Mele enter Daniel's home. Inside, Daniel pulls out a file and tells Eduardo they have a problem. He explains that the universities are collapsing and that he can help Eduardo by getting him out of academia and into a high-ranking government position.
I can put you in a high-level government position, away from academics. They're cracking down on universities.
Eduardo refuses, saying he doesn't want to become another corrupt official. He wants the truth. Daniel responds that they have their own truth. What they need is power. The 2 argue until Daniel finally yells at Eduardo to fix the report.
Are you joking? Fix it. Rights come to us from God via nature. Protect those rights. Government does not give rights, it gives reason.
The next day, Tom and Wes go to a restaurant to find Wes a job. The staff refuse to hire him, saying they prioritize their own people first. Tom tries to explain that Wes just returned from the war, but the staff still refuse. When they step outside, they run into Patrick and Denise. Upon seeing Patrick, Andre comments that he looks unusual. Denise defends him, saying he's good at his job, but people don't hire him because of how he looks.
They just don't hire him because he's unusual looking.
I'm not unusual.
Basement.
I have a career there, okay?
Yeah.
Now that Patrick has a job at the bank, Denise asks where he and the others are from. Tom explains that they've traveled through many places and came here because it's a neutral country. He introduces Andre as his nephew. Noticing Andre's army hat, Denise asks about it, and he tells her it belonged to his father. Before they leave, Denise asks Wes if he's seen the 2 moons, but he says no.
Did you see the 2 moons?
Later, Denise and Patrick go to a restaurant. On the news, Daniel reports that what people are seeing in the sky is just a mirage caused by unusual weather patterns.
A blurring of lines in the sky. They try to make everything ordinary.
Sometime afterward, Denise attends a job interview. During the interview, she tries to ask the interviewer about the strange sky, but the woman ignores her and continues with her questions. She asks Denise if she could sit next to a celebrity. Which one would she choose? The options are a politician, a music star, or a sports figure. Denise instead chooses Sylvia Plath, the poet. The interviewer repeats the same options again, but Denise refuses to
A
choose.
politician, be a music star.
Herman Hesse's work is very interesting.
The woman stands up, and when she does, Denise notices she's wearing black shoes. Suddenly, a gunshot echoes outside. Denise rushes out and sees a woman lying on the ground, shot for stealing. An officer confirms that the new rule is to shoot thieves on sight. Denise looks down and sees that the officer is also wearing black shoes.
Your shoes are very clean.
That the ground is ours.
As she walks home, she runs into Tom and tells him what happened. She also mentions that she's been seeing two moons even during the day. Tom shares his belief that a renaissance is coming.
Was not the center of the universe. Everything had to be reevaluated.
He tells her he's a poet and talks about his art. Denise mentions a rumor about another war starting, and Tom confirms it. Before they part ways, he invites her to visit the bird sanctuary, where he works as a janitor.
I'm a janitor who speaks bird talk.
When Denise returns home, Zinnia tells her she has to move out because her boyfriend Kim is moving in. Zinnia tosses her a government-issued pill, but Denise refuses to take it. Without any sympathy, Zinnia and her friends leave. On the open computer screen, Denise sees a news report announcing the coming war. Later, Denise attends Zinnia's art exhibition, where the famous artist Phoebe is also present. As Zinnia mingles with the guests, Denise pulls her aside and reminds her that government rules require a 1-month eviction notice. Zinnia ignores her and walks away.
We're way too many. And all this garbage every...
The government says you have to give me a month's notice, so you are not kicking me out, okay?
Sibel, what is your brother doing in a uniform?
The VIP staying over, and Kim and I have to have a quality time.
The next day, Patrick warns Denise not to follow him because she could ruin his reputation. Still, Denise keeps talking about the sky and the two moons. Finally, Patrick tells her that if she stops talking about how much she hates football, his roommates Bruce and Beat might let her stay with them. Denise moves into Patrick's house, where she's forced to watch football with his roommates. Bruce, however, is difficult to live with. He accuses Denise of stealing and says there must be a reason she was kicked out of her previous apartment.
There's a reason you got kicked out of your corner in that apartment, Denise.
Angry, Denise throws a book at him. As a result, she's kicked out again. Carrying her suitcase, she goes to see Tom. When she arrives, she tells him she hit someone, and he surprisingly congratulates her. He then invites her inside. As Denise talks with Andre, an earthquake suddenly begins to shake the room. Wes rushes in to check on them, and Denise vents her frustration. Strange things keep happening, yet everyone continues to ignore them.
People know, but they're just not talking about it.
Who will know the world before it goes?
Andre shares a dream he once had. In it, there was no sun in the sky, but his father still got up and dressed as if everything were normal. Andre questioned him, asking if he truly didn't notice that the sun was gone. Later, Denise is jolted awake by a sound from Andre's laptop. On the screen, a young boy is being interviewed before heading off to war.
Are you clear on the reasons why we need you to fight?
Well, that explains a lot.
That kid sounds scared. Not me. And I don't go all crazy about it either, like Wes.
Sometime later, Denise sits with Tom and asks what he used to do before the war. He tells her he worked in computer repair. Then he talks about his plan to write a book, a collection of poems about the world.
And I have a plan. Writing a book plan. I want people to see this message.
After their conversation, Denise leaves with her suitcase. Outside, Bruce and Beat find her and tell her there's a warrant out for her arrest. Denise insists she hasn't done anything wrong. They explain that she's being arrested because she refuses to take her equilibrium pills, won't stay silent, and won't submit to the government's rules.
Not taking your equilibrium pills?
You should have grown up, Denise. I'm making a phone call.
Wes comes from behind and attacks them, helping Denise escape. Panicking, Denise runs to find Johnny. He's with Phoebe when she arrives. As Denise tries to talk to him, Phoebe urges Johnny to come with her, saying they don't have time. Before leaving, Johnny hugs Denise and tells her that Adrian has gone to join a group hiding in the mountains. He explains that he, Denise, and several others are all on the government's rejection list. That's why they must leave. Then he departs with Phoebe.
I'll be looking out for you, Denise.
Desperate, Denise runs to the bank and heads to the basement to find Patrick. But instead of him, she finds another man sitting there. The man panics when he sees her and bolts, shouting that he can't be seen with her. Denise chases after him, but he keeps running, yelling that she's on the list.
I said, where's Patrick?
You're on the list!
As they run, the ground begins to shake again. The man falls to the ground but quickly stands up. When Denise asks why he was lying there, he denies it. She presses him, asking why he'd lie about something so small. He says he doesn't want people to think he's strange. He doesn't want to end up on the list either. When she asks where Patrick is, he finally admits that Patrick is in jail.
On the list like you and Patrick.
Where's Patrick?
Jail!
Denise then goes back to Tom and asks for his help getting Patrick out. Tom takes her aside and shows her his notebook. In just 2 days, he's written 10 poems. Tom tells Denise about hope, about how the world will one day turn to poetry. Back at his house, the two grow closer and eventually become intimate. Later, as Denise steps outside, she runs into Andre. He tells her he's about to go to war. Denise is stunned, reminding him that he only has one arm.
I'm supposed to go fight in the war.
You can't fight in a war. I mean,
Oh, they take anyone now.
After parting ways with him, Denise goes to the Army Training Center. She tells a soldier that her friend's son is disabled, but has been enlisted to fight. When the soldier asks for her name, she says Zania. But when he asks for her ID, Denise panics and runs away. When she returns home, she finds the house empty. Tom is gone. He's left a note behind saying he couldn't find Patrick, doesn't know where he is, and that he and the others have left for good.
I tried, but I was unable to get to Patrick. I don't know where he is.
Once again, Denise packs her suitcase and heads out. She goes to see Zania and tells her that Tom has left. Zania offers to let her stay in the apartment again and advises her to fit in. Hearing this, Denise angrily throws away her poetry book and screams that she's going to be normal again.
I'm getting rid of my poetry. I'm gonna be normal.
Meanwhile, a group of rebels opposed to the government is gathering. Among them are Wes, Tom, Eduardo, and several others. Denise joins Zania and her friends for a holiday celebration. Eduardo is there too. Trying to blend in, Denise laughs and dances, pretending to be like everyone else. Outside, Phoebe and Eduardo step away to talk. He asks her about the sky. Phoebe admits it frightens her. Eduardo asks if it's because of the 2 moons or the strange line stretching across the heavens. Elsewhere, Andre tells Tom that he saw Denise celebrating, that she was laughing and dancing like the rest of them. Tom dismisses it.
You don't know her situation. Best to leave her alone. She probably doesn't even know we're here.
Later that night, Denise dreams of the rebel group. When she wakes, she finds them surrounding her. Everyone who had disappeared, Tom, Wes, Eduardo, and the others, is there. They urge her to join them.
We call this guy Mr. Time Warp. Listen, Denise, everybody who didn't fall for it.
No, but listen, I can't join you.
Denise refuses, saying she's trying to live a normal life now. She even has a job at a computer company. They try to convince her, but someone approaches, and the group scatters.
Please, join us.
Soon after, the rebels regroup and begin planning. They've decided to take down the Black Shoes, the government's loyal enforcers and symbol of submission.
I got grenades, I'm telling everybody. I already got it. Not with violence and guns.
Denise joins the rebels and is surprised to find Anton among them. She greets him warmly. Soon, everyone heads off to their assigned tasks. Across the way, Denise sees Tom waving at her. They climb into a truck together and lie down, holding each other close. After some time, several rebels rush back to the hideout, breathless and panicked. They tell Eduardo that their identities have been exposed. Realizing the danger, Eduardo runs off to warn the others. Meanwhile, the government prepares to execute the captured rebels.
Executions will be held at 10 a.m. on Friday.
Eduardo goes to Daniel, pleading for forgiveness, but Daniel turns his back on him. Guards step in and arrest Eduardo. Denise later watches the news, horrified, as the broadcast reports Eduardo's arrest and that a woman named Diana helped capture him.
Under Lieutenant Daniel Winthrop, as is correct for a woman.
Adrian is taken as well, and both men are sentenced to execution. Among the soldiers aiding the operation is Benjamin, a former rebel who betrays his friends for reward money by revealing their hiding place.
That's cool. Yeah, put it up here.
Far away in the mountains, Andre tells Tom that he has to report for military service. When Andre starts talking about his father, Tom becomes irritated, and the two argue bitterly until Andre storms out.
We don't have a shadow.
What? That can't be true. It's like we don't even exist anymore.
No, I exist.
After he leaves, Denise and Tom clash over their beliefs. Tom insists that art and poetry can change the world, while Denise argues that such ideas are naive in times like these.
And the only thing that you can do is try to survive. I feel very bad for you living at the edge of all of this.
Meanwhile, the Black Shoes, the government's enforcers, are gathering. Denise asks what happened to Patrick, and someone coldly tells her he has been extinguished. When she asks what that means, one of the Black Shoes lunges at her, forcing her to flee as the ground shakes violently beneath her feet.
You are traitors! You are traitors, Denise! I'm turning all of you in.
Later, Denise receives some money from Xenia, who's excited about the idea of starting fresh. Xenia mentions hearing rumors that the sun might not rise tomorrow. Elsewhere, Andre remains determined to enlist, despite Tom's desperate attempts to stop him. Soldiers arrive and forcibly separate them.
Is this young man enlisted?
Yes, he's signed.
Excellent.
Try to be normal. Okay? You got this.
Not long after, Denise runs into Patrick again. She notices his polished black boots, a symbol of submission. He warns her to leave before she's caught up in the coming storm.
Go!
At the same time, on the execution grounds, Tom is dragged before a firing squad while Eduardo and Adrian await their fate. Just as the soldiers take aim, a sudden uprising erupts from the mountains, halting the execution. In the chaos, a woman carrying a grenade appears. But before she can act, Wes grabs it and sacrifices himself in the explosion. Amid the confusion, Denise spots a large government machine built into a nearby wall. Acting on impulse, she smashes it. The moment it shatters, the sky bursts with light. Colors return to the world, and the dull gray haze that had covered everything disappears. Tom manages to help Andre escape the enlistment camp, though soldiers soon capture him again. Even so, the remaining rebels hold on to hope. Across the land, small pockets of resistance begin to rise against the government's control. Denise, once determined to conform for her own safety, finally understands she can no longer live under oppression. She chooses to stand with the rebellion, and with it, a chance for a new beginning.
We all do what we have to do.
Let's go.